Last Man Home. On the Sky Road. Written by John Miro. Part 1. I glared out at the stars, and the stars gave me their stink eye right back. The Sky Road purred through my bones, subtle and velvety, nothing like the troop transports they stuffed us grunts into back in the war. I leaned all the way back on the sumptuously carpeted staircase and let the Sky Road's powerful engines massage the hurt out of the base of my skull. I was alone in the artificial dark of the night cycle, so I let the groan of relief in my throat come out. Drew and Gris were still making the most of the luxury liner's all-you-can-drink policy, and I was having trouble keeping up. My stomach had settled down a few hours back, but the jello between my ears was still reminding me what an idiot I was for trying. The Earth was long gone in the palatial window in front of me. So were Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Neptune was a neon blue ball I could just make out with my military-upgraded eyeballs. Next stop, interstellar space, and the jump to Tom's folks' planet. Well, not Tom's folks. Tom that came before his folks. Tom that was. It's complicated. I closed my eyes. What the hell are you doing out here, Jake? I was too damn far from home. I missed my cabin out in the middle of nowhere. I missed the sound of the wind in the trees and the sound of damn little else. I raised a hand and waved off my own grumbling. I knew why I was here, and it was the right move. 3-day-long hangover and crowds aside. Besides, before catching a ride into outer space with my friends, I'd burned that cabin down. No going back now. I figured I was right where I was supposed to be anyhow. That didn't mean I had to like everything about it. Laughter, loud laughter, and a tipsy feminine squeal stabbed me right in the ear. I winced, but knew better than to sit upright. The cleaner bots had better things to do than clean up the contents of my stomach. Again. Halfway down the stairs, the party sounds cut off. "That's one of them," whispered an awestruck male voice, barely out of adolescence. "Oh, wow," breathed a young woman, the bearer of the killer squeal. Then, silence. I stayed put and kept my eyes shut, willing the trust fund babies to turn around and find their way back into whatever party they were sneaking out of for smoochies. No joy. The two padded silently now down the stairs towards me. The woman was breathing harder, her footfall staggered. She was nervous. Her play partner moved quietly too, but holding his breath like he was in church. They gave me a wide berth on the stairs, which covered the same length as the Olympic-sized pool 2 levels down, and came to a stop. It took a couple of swallows before the man got his voice working again. "Thank you for your service, sir." Ah, shit. I sighed and sat up, opening my eyes. We were just doing a job, kid. Their eyes were wide, staring down at me like I was the alien, instead of one of the soldiers that kept the Elotan invaders at bay during the war. Their wonder didn't piss me off. It didn't make me feel special either. It wasn't about me. It was something they were working through in their heads. I wished them luck. I was still working it out for myself. Usually, people didn't put 2 and 2 together and identify members of the endangered species war veteran. I seldom ever had to deal with it back in my cabin in the boonies. On the Sky Road, I was getting a crash course, and it was exhausting. To make things worse, Drew, Teddy, Gris, and I had made the news after our new friend became a celebrity on the networks. We were the hot gossip on this leg of the Sky Road's journey outbound from Earth. I didn't carry a screen around with me. Hell, I'd only ever owned a phone and a radio after I left the Army. But even I had to admit that Tom 2.0 had caused quite a stir. Kind of to be expected, what with him being the first Elotan ever to show his face on Earth after the war. His almost being killed by Drew when he crashed our reunion, that helped sell the story too, of course. I looked up at the man and the woman. Babies, I decided, just crossing the legal age, if that. I've never... The woman's voice abandoned her before she could finish her thought, but I nodded along. There's still a few of us. War with the Elotans had ground on for years after that first no-warning slaughter of our farthest colony. It ground up most of the soldiers that fought in it, too. That was how a simpleton like my friend Druid and about 1,000,000 of his simpleton, barely sentient Samadon friends were pressed into service, alongside humans and our more advanced Kaiben and Shelev allies. It was almost comical, watching the rich kids' no doubt lavish school careers worth of history lessons fly across their faces. Only 4% of my brothers and sisters made it off the front line. The ones we lost, the ones we left behind, won the Elotans' respect and a ceasefire with their lives. I was getting myself ready to take more praise, maybe a selfie or a soundy request. That had happened a lot on the first ship days out from Earth. Then I learned to drink later into the night and sleep later into the day to avoid most of my fellow passengers, and it got a little better. This time, nothing. They both tried to smile, looked a little sad, and a little older for the encounter. And then, somberly, silently, they climbed the stairs back the way they came. Then I hung my skull back on the stair above me, narrowed my eyes to glare out at those stars, and started up the staring contest again. They could give me their eternal twinkling stink eye all day long. It couldn't touch me. I'd survived a Lotan beam, blade, and claw. Nothing in their boiling nuclear bellies could match that. Last Man Home. On the Sky Road. Written and recorded by John Miro. Stay tuned. Part 2 coming soon.